GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good evening, Montreal. Tonight we'll bring you the harrowing rescue from the Lachine Canal, where two are in critical condition, and a look at the class action lawsuits over June's floods. Later, we'll hear from a Heart Institute researcher on coping with soaring temperatures. Over to you, Emma.
Every Sunday afternoon, the Tam Tams gather on Montreal's East Slope, where drummers, djembe players, and dancers welcome families and tourists alike.
The informal jam session runs from roughly 2 p.m. until sunset, offering an open mic space where anyone can join the rhythm without reservation.
Local vendors set up nearby, selling handmade bracelets, organic smoothies, and reusable water bottles, supporting sustainable practices while visitors enjoy the music.
Lots to get to, let's begin, and we'll keep the music flowing as we dive into tonight's stories together. Good evening, Montreal. Rescue crews pulled two people from the historic Lachine Canal early this morning, and both were rushed to hospital in critical condition. Emergency responders arrived within minutes after a passerby reported the incident near the canal's western towpath. Divers and paramedics worked together to extract the victims from the swift water using rescue boats and rope systems. Officials confirmed that the individuals were unconscious when pulled from the canal and required immediate advanced care. The patients are now under intensive monitoring at a nearby trauma center, with doctors saying their prognosis remains uncertain. Police are reviewing the scene for possible safety violations, and the canal remains temporarily closed while investigators secure the area. The city's emergency services thanked the citizen who called for help and reminded the public to stay clear of the water during high-flow periods.
Two class action lawsuits were filed today in the Quebec Superior Court, accusing the City of Montreal and several West Island municipalities of neglecting known flood hazards. Plaintiffs allege that despite long-standing awareness of flood risk, the municipalities failed to implement adequate mitigation measures before the heavy rains of June 20th triggered widespread flooding across the West Island. The lawsuits claim that the lack of proper drainage upgrades and insufficient emergency planning left homes and businesses vulnerable, resulting in extensive property damage. Residents say the authorities ignored expert warnings and did not act on prior studies that highlighted the area's susceptibility. The legal action seeks compensation for affected households and urges courts to hold the municipalities accountable for what they describe as a preventable disaster. The cases also mark a rare collective legal challenge against local governments in Quebec, highlighting broader concerns over climate resilience.
The French Air Force's Patrouille de France will sweep the skies over the island in Quebec City later today, delivering an aerobatic display with its Alpha Jet fleet. Officials announced the scheduled takeoff from the Montreal airfield has been delayed by 2 hours, moving the start of the performance into the early afternoon. The postponement tied to routine technical checks does not alter the team's itinerary, which includes a second demonstration over Quebec City this evening. Spectators at waterfront and downtown viewing spots can still expect the signature loops, rolls, and synchronized maneuvers that define the Patrouille. Weather reports indicate clear skies and light breezes, providing ideal conditions for the high-speed formation. The event, part of a cultural exchange with France, is being coordinated with local authorities, and a live broadcast will carry the aerial choreography to viewers across the province.
Researchers at the Montreal Heart Institute's Epic Center say the city can build resilience as summer temperatures climb. Daniel Gagnon, a cardiology scientist, shared his latest findings with CBC's Sonali Karnik, outlining practical steps residents can take to stay safe during hotter days. He highlighted the importance of staying hydrated, limiting outdoor activity during peak heat, and using cooling centers that are being set up in neighborhoods such as the Plateau and Verdun. Gagnon also stressed the role of green roofs and tree planting to lower street-level temperatures, and urged community groups to check on vulnerable neighbors. Health officials note that heat waves are arriving more often and with greater intensity across Canada, making these adaptation measures essential for protecting heart health as the climate warms. The city's public health department is coordinating with schools and senior centers to distribute cooling kits and educational flyers.
Firefighters rushed to a blaze early this morning in the Rivière des Prairies Piwanto-Tremblant borough. The flames ignited at roughly 6 o'clock, prompting a massive response that saw around 100 crew members from the city's fire service converge on the scene. Thick smoke billowed from the residential block as crews tackled the inferno, deploying multiple ladder trucks and water tenders. By mid-morning, the fire was under control, though investigators remained on site to determine the cause. No injuries were reported, and residents were advised to stay clear of the affected streets while the operation continued. The coordinated effort highlighted the department's readiness to handle large-scale emergencies, and officials thanked the firefighters for their swift action. Chief of Service Pierre Leclair praised the teamwork, noting that the rapid deployment saved the adjoining apartments from severe damage. Next, we'll explore how severe storms devastated Quebec's vegetable farms, prompting 396 claims. Then back to you, we will be right back.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches. No middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
The annual picnic competition is back at Stewart Hall, drawing families and friends to the lakeside for a day of tables, treats, and a special teddy bear picnic. I'm heading live to our on-scene reporter, Jacqueline Laflem, for the details.
Good afternoon. We're here at Stewart Hall today, and they have their annual picnic competition, and I'm here representing the Teddy Bear Picnic.
Sounds like a lively gathering. Can you tell us who's here and how they're getting ready for the picnic?
This is a wonderful community event, and there are quite a few members of our wonderful community here on the lake shore participating. And everybody is very busy right now setting up their picnic table.
The tables are coming together nicely. What's the schedule for the competition and who's behind the judging process?
So the judging for the picnic starts today at 12 o'clock. And I would like to also introduce the Friends of Stewart Hall, who are quite instrumental in getting this event together and for the judging.
With judges set for noon, how does the city of Pointe Claire view this event, and what are they hoping to achieve today?
So this is really a wonderful event that takes place at Stewart Hall. It's represented by the city of Pointe Claire. And what we hope to do today is raise awareness and just have a great time.
It sounds like a great community focus. What's the atmosphere like right now as the judges arrive and everyone prepares to enjoy their snacks?
So we're super excited for the judges to do their thing so that everybody could sit down and start to enjoy all their lovely snacks that they brought today. And it's a beautiful sunny day, and we all hope to have an amazing, amazing time. And thank you again to Stewart Hall and the city of Pointe Claire.
Thanks, Jacqueline, for that lively snapshot. We'll keep an eye on the competition as it unfolds. Back to you. Welcome back, everyone. Let's turn now to Emma Leclair, who will guide us through the local stories shaping our Montreal community tonight.
Severe thunderstorms rolled across the Montérégie region on June 20th, leaving a swath of damage on vegetable farms. Financier Agricole reports that 396 damage notices have already been filed, and roughly half of the growers have insurance coverage. The storms ripped through fields of lettuce, carrots, and other crops, washing away seedlings and flooding irrigation channels. With the growing season already under pressure, many producers are facing delayed harvests and potential loss of income. Officials say the assessment effort is underway as insurers work to verify each claim. The province's agricultural ministry has pledged additional technical support to help farms stabilize soil and replant. Families who depend on farm wages are watching closely as the recovery timeline unfolds. The region, a cornerstone of Quebec's vegetable output, is now grappling with repair costs and the challenge of getting fields back into production before the next planting window.
With the obstetrics unit at Hôpital de Ville-Marie shuttered for most of the summer, pregnant residents across the Témiscamingue region now face longer journeys to receive prenatal appointments and give birth. The closure, which began at the start of the season, forces expectant mothers to travel to hospitals in neighboring towns, adding hours of driving to routine checkups and emergency deliveries. Local health officials say the suspension is intended to allow extensive renovations and staffing upgrades, but families report the added distance is straining budgets and support networks. Clinics in the area remain open for basic prenatal counseling, yet most ultrasounds and birthing services have been redirected. As the summer continues, the region's caregivers are coordinating transportation options, while community groups monitor the impact on families awaiting the unit's reopening later in the year.
Later today, the French Air Force's Patrouille de France will sweep the skies over both Montreal and Quebec City. The world-renowned aerobatic squadron, known for its precision formations and blue-white tricolor smoke, is scheduled to appear during a brief window this afternoon. Residents can expect a short, high-speed pass at low altitude, a sight that often draws families to parks and waterfronts to watch the display. The team's occasional Canadian flyovers coincide with special occasions, and this appearance adds a splash of international flair to the province's summer schedule. Aviation enthusiasts will hear the distinct roar of the Dassault Dornier aircraft as they loop and roll above familiar landmarks. If you're out for a walk or commuting, keep an eye to the horizon for a fleeting, colorful performance that will last only a few minutes.
Yesterday, Équipe Jeunesse warned that a growing wave of teens leaving Quebec's youth protection program are slipping onto the streets. The organization says the transition out of care often leaves these young people without a roof, pushing them into homelessness at an age when many are just starting work or school. Officials say the province's current housing supports fall short, leaving families and community groups to scramble for emergency shelters. For neighbors, the rise means more youths may be seen sleeping in parks or under overpasses, and local services are already feeling the strain. Advocates are calling for expanded transitional housing and targeted assistance to keep these vulnerable adults from falling through the cracks. City officials are now still addressing an influx of at-risk young adults and seeking coordinated resources.
Yesterday, Hydro-Quebec revealed a proposal to lift electricity rates for the province's most power-intensive households. The plan would target residential customers consuming more than 35,000 kilowatt-hours annually, representing roughly the top 5% of users. Under the proposal, those households would face a higher price per kilowatt-hour while the standard rate for the majority would stay unchanged. Hydro-Quebec said the measure aims to align costs with consumption levels and support the utility's long-term financial balance. Officials noted that the change would apply only to the smallest segment of the market, but it could add a noticeable monthly increase for families with large homes, extensive home office setups, or heavy appliance use. The utility will hold public consultations in the coming weeks before any final decision is made. Analysts estimate that the new tariff could raise affected households' bills by several $100s each year, depending on usage patterns.
Now let's get a quick look at tonight's forecast with our weather team.
A westward jet at high speed is tightening the ridge, locking in dry, summer stability over Montreal. On this date, the all-time high for Montreal stands at 34.4 degrees Celsius, set in 2018 during an unprecedented heat wave that pushed the city into the mid-30s for several consecutive days. The all-time low is 13.7 degrees Celsius, recorded in 2017 when a polar air mass slipped southward, blanketing the region in bitter cold despite midsummer. By contrast, the climatological normal for July 5th hovers around 26 degrees Celsius for the high and 17 for the low, underscoring how today's readings sit comfortably between the extremes. The live radar shows a clear expanse across southern Quebec, no echo returning from the St. Lawrence corridor or the Laurentians. With the high-pressure ridge reinforcing from the west and the jet stream blasting overhead, moisture is being siphoned away, leaving a dry, stable column of air. Expect this quiet pattern to persist through the evening, with no precipitation reaching the city before midnight. At 6 p.m., Montreal sits under partly cloudy skies with a temperature of 26 degrees Celsius, humidity near 30%, and a light west wind of 4 kilometers per hour. Pressure is near average and nudging upward, sealing in the dry air that the fast westward jet at 156 kilometers per hour has drawn aloft. With the ridge strengthening, overnight lows will dip to 16 degrees before sunrise, then climb to a high of 30 degrees by early afternoon. UV index remains at 8, and wind will stay below 25 kilometers per hour, so no gust concerns. No weather alerts are in effect. As the night settles, the next segment turns to the 5-day outlook. Monday will see a high of 30 degrees and a low of 16, with overcast conditions dominating the day as the western ridge holds firm. Tuesday opens clear, offering the same high of 30 but a milder low of 20, as a brief southerly surge nudges temperatures upward. Wednesday returns to overcast skies, still capped at 30 degrees and a low of 21, the lingering moisture hinting at a slow-moving trough. Thursday edges hotter, reaching 31 at the peak while the low holds at 21. A 30% chance of rain drifts in as the jet begins to wobble northward. Friday cools to 27 for the high and 20 for the low, with a 35% rain probability as the ridge finally relaxes. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunset is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
Stay tuned for traffic, a look at Lionel Richie tonight, a recap of Rose's 5-1 win, plus the Chamber Spotlight. We will be right back.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches. No middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
All major routes are moving smoothly this afternoon. Autoroute Quinns runs free through the island with no reported slowdowns. Boulevard St. Laurent and Rue St. Denis show normal flow, and the downtown core is clear of congestion. The bridge over the St. Lawrence, including the Champlain and Jacques Cartier spans, reports steady traffic without backups. On the east side, the Descartes Expressway and the Ville-Marie Tunnel remain open and unrestricted. For commuters heading west, the Descartes and the Louis-Henri Bourassa corridor are clear, and the commuter rail lines are operating on schedule with no service alerts. Expect typical rush hour patterns to build after 6 o'clock, so plan for a possible increase in volume on the main arteries. If you're traveling now, you should encounter minimal delays across the network. No roadwork or lane closures are reported on any of the routes mentioned.
Tonight the Bell Center lights up with Lionel Richie and Earth, Wind and Fire, a rare pairing of soul legends that promises a night of timeless hits and unforgettable grooves. If you're more into competition than concerts, the Olympic Pool hosts the Bell Canadian Swimming Trials, where Canada's fastest swimmers are battling for spots at the Pan-Pacific Championships, a glimpse of the nation's next aquatic stars. Around the city, the Montreal International Jazz Festival continues to pulse through the Quartier des Spectacles, offering free outdoor stages where you can discover emerging talent alongside world-class acts. It's the perfect excuse to grab a picnic and let the city's soundtrack roll into night. Looking ahead, the tech crowd should mark the 8th of July for Alex Warren's show with Noah Cyrus at the Bell Center, a pop-filled event already generating buzz and a kickoff to the weekend. It sets the tone for a weekend of music, tech, and celebration across Montreal. And now here's Jason with sports.
Weekend Roundup, Montreal soccer shines, hockey makes a move, and more. Evelyn Badu delivered a spectacular hat trick as the Montreal Roses thumped the Vancouver Rise 5-1 on Saturday, showcasing the club's early season firepower in the Northern Super League. The victory underscores Montreal's offensive depth and positions the Roses as a contender. The Canadiens have sent veteran forward Brendan Gallagher to the Vancouver Canucks in exchange for future considerations, according to the league announcement on Wednesday. The move ends Gallagher's tenure in Montreal and adds a seasoned scorer to Vancouver's roster heading into the next campaign. Montreal honored officially forward Brendan Gallagher with honorary citizenship at City Hall on Thursday afternoon, June 25. The ceremony recognized his contributions to the Canadiens and the community, cementing his lasting legacy beyond the rink. Goaltending legend Carey Price was elected to the Hockey Hall of Fame, joining the 2026 class alongside Pekka Rinne, Keith T. Tkachuk, and Cindy Curley. The Montreal native's induction underscores his lasting impact on the franchise.
SSENSC on St. Laurent is one of Montreal's most daring luxury fashion curators, pulling runway looks into the city's streets. The retailer has just announced a sweeping restructuring. Its full-time photography, retouching, and hair and makeup teams are being let go as the company pivots to AI-generated imagery. The shift aims to cut costs and keep the platform agile amid a tight market, but it also means a loss of hands-on creative talent that has long contributed to St. Laurent's visual vibe. For a neighborhood that thrives on art and style, the change reshapes the daily rhythm of the street, even as the brand continues to showcase global designers. SSENSC remains a pulse of Montreal's fashion-forward spirit, reminding us that innovation and community walk hand in hand. Later, we'll share the excitement of the Bell Canadian Swimming Trials, where our athletes are making a splash across the nation.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches. No middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
On a breezy Saturday evening in the Plateau, the scent of roasted coffee drifted from the open windows of Café St. Laurent, where regulars gathered around reclaimed wood tables. Four of our beloved Montreal cafes, Café Saint Laurent, Le Petit Grain, Café des Arts on Saint Denis, and a hidden gem on Rue Saint Paul have just been named among the world's 100 best coffee shops, a list that spans North America, Central America, and the Caribbean. Imagine the barista at Le Petit Grain, her hands moving like a dancer as she pulls a perfect espresso, the crema glistening like sunrise on the St. Lawrence. In the corner of Café des Arts, a young artist sketches the steam rising from a latte, capturing the energy that draws travelers and neighbors alike. The announcement arrived with a simple email, but the ripple was immediate. Neighbors clinked mugs, social media lit up with photos, and the city's coffee lovers felt a shared pride. It's a reminder that the small, daily rituals we cherish can place Montreal on the world's map. Tonight, the city rests a little warmer, knowing its cafes have earned a place among the very best.
On a bright Thursday morning outside the facade of Rossmere High School, staff gathered in the office beside the gym, clutching coffee cups and a printed copy of an unexpected email. The message, meant for a handful of administrators, mistakenly listed the names, phone numbers, and home addresses of dozens of parents. Within minutes, the hallway buzzed with concern, but the swift, collective response turned the moment hopeful. Principal Lucien Moreau called a meeting, and the school's IT specialist Maya Delorier stayed late, checking every entry and coordinating with the board's data privacy officer. By sunset, a clear apology had been sent and a password reset offered to every family. Parents, many who had never met the tech team, lined up at the front office, sharing stories of community projects and offering help with the rollout of security workshops. Students organized a data safety day, inviting local experts to teach classmates how to protect their digital footprints. The incident reminded everyone that a challenge can strengthen the bonds that already hold a neighborhood together. In the end, the school emerged more connected and more vigilant, ready to protect its community.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us tonight. Our thoughts are with the two people rescued from the Lachine Canal and their families. Stay safe, stay informed, and tune in tomorrow for more local stories that matter to you. We'll bring you the latest on the city's challenges and triumphs. I'm Marc Beaumont, signing off.